Good morning, everyone. Shall we rise for the pledge, please?
Recording in progress.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good morning, everyone. We have minutes of our select board meeting held on July 3rd. Could I have a motion to accept those minutes?
I make that motion to accept the minutes of July 3rd meeting.
And do I have a second? A second. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone oppose? Hearing none? Could you sit down? Thank you. Go, Sonny. Then we have minutes of our Board of Selectmen and Budget Committee meeting that was held on July 9th, 6:30. I don't think anyone from the public attended, but could I have a motion to accept those minutes?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Hearing none? Okay, John. Oop. There you go, Sonny. Okay, we'll open with new business, and it's Police Department staffing update.
Yes, so, back last month, we had, one of our officers that was in training, resigned, was not a good fit for him. Last Friday, Officer Clark, submitted the resignation, effective July 27th.
Okay.
So now, at this point, we're down a couple of positions, 3 positions still.
Three positions that are open, and we have no one at the academy.
We have one in the academy
That's right.
right now.
Okay,
She's in week 5 of the academy.
okay,
We had one that graduated end of May who is just now on his own as a lawyer.
awesome. Okay, awesome.
Quick question.
Yeah,
I know it's probably something we can't talk about right now, but did Clark give a reason why he was leaving? Just so we can try to address the issue. If it's money, if it's...
The resignation had any reason for it.
Thank you.
I have one more. I have a question.
go ahead.
Do we ever have an exit interview with these people? Good question.
That is something typically that is done, yes.
I think that's important to have.
Oil and propane contract, 24-25 renewal, Alicia.
Yes, our contract with Irving was up at the end of July, so per usual, I put out bid request, and Irving came in again, lower than all the other bids. So for our 23-24 contract for oil, we were paying $2.915, and our propane was $1.631. For our 24-25 contract, the oil will be 2.87, so that's up down 0.42, and then the propane will be 1.676, which is up 0.45, so it's essentially a wash, really not much of a change from the 23-24 contract.
Okay. All right, any questions? No? Okay. Do we have any other new business?
I do not, unless the department does.
No? Okay. Any, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. That's what happens when you where's your hat?
Shiny yellow, right now.
I am right.
So, just a couple of quick things. For one, I'm just a reminder about the chicken barbecue we're having, that we're still having
And that is, Saturday, August, come on, guys, August 10th. Okay, just so it's on the record.
At 4 o'clock.
At 4 o'clock.
Belmont Firehouse.
Okay.
Just come down and get your tickets. Karen's already got hers. And kind of just playing off of the other night, when we had that, budget selectmen meeting about, and the one thing I did bring up that was the tanker issue that we have right now.
Yep.
Just some food for thought. Right now, these tankers are running around $500,000, which back when we first, one of the engines that we bought, I came across the bill for that engine, and that was back in, I got it, my paperwork, back before 2000.
Okay.
It was.
Back before COVID.
Yeah, it was $160,000
Wow.
for an engine, and now this is how much they've gone up in 20-something years. And that chassis, we only paid $54,000 for it, who knows what's gonna happen. My point of that is if we were to remount this chassis, which we could pay $74,000 to remount it, and then on top of that, whatever problems we have, taking the tank off, getting, crane to take care of that, and putting it back on, but who's to know what's underneath that tank at this point in time? We just had engine 1 refurbished, it's now gone to paint finally, we should hopefully have that back by the end of this month. They did find a lot of things refurbishing this truck, and that's where I don't agree with refurbishing, and it's just always been my point. Because you start digging deep into something that's already 15, 20 years old, that's done some hard work, and you're gonna start finding things that's wrong with it. Some of the engines, one of the engines that I was looking at, one of the tankers, sorry, that I was looking at, after the first of the year, it's going up $85,000 for a new engine. They're changing over the Cummins engine. I don't know if you know anything about that, John.
I do.
So that's gonna be another big increase on anything that we're gonna get at this point. So we're now looking over $500,000 for just a tanker. So I can only imagine what an engine at this point would cost. So I've been just trying to keep prices out there and keep pushing through.
The problem is, our hands are tied because we can't do anything without the voters saying that we can do anything. That's the crutch of this whole thing, is that, and putting the money again into a frame, like you just said, you don't know what's underneath
And that's why
that.
I do not, and this is strictly my opinion, I don't even wanna pursue at this point re-chassising that tanker. Because I think we're just asking for a lot of problems. And you know what, the tank's 25 years old, it did its time. That's the life of these fire trucks. So it's done its time, and I think overall, it's paid up the town back, in a sense. So.
It's just trying to get the voters to,
Right, so that's why too, I'm just kind of trying to come
Yep.
here, push it.
Yep.
Yes, with you guys, it's a public meeting, whatever. And again, places that are far out, they're not gonna have water. And I have set our mutual aid up for this. However, we can't depend 100% on mutual aid just as much as they can't depend on getting us either, because we can be busy. Now, this past weekend, everybody was.
I was just gonna say, I saw several times where there were accidents in certain places, couldn't get the local town, couldn't even get the next town, had to go to the third town.
We've been,
Yep.
Yesterday we did mutual aid for a bad accident in Tilton. The other day we were down in Loudon covering them because all their trucks are out.
Yeah.
Not only that, dealing with our own. So, everybody's we're all in the same boat, every single town. So mutual aid is great. I've got it set up so that I will get trucks, I'll get more trucks, but it's gonna take longer to get here. But I just wanna know that we certainly haven't neglected the town in that aspect. So really, that's kind of where I'm at. With this
So
whole thing.
it really almost boils down, so what you're trying to do is trying to find out, do we want you to continue going out and trying to what am I trying to say, trying to get prices to fix this tanker, or should we just be pushing?
My position on this is we do not fix it.
No,
And
that's,
I think I've exhausted.
yes, that's
all
kind of what
that.
I would say too. Yeah, it's like throwing money
How many more
away.
years am I gonna get out of that truck if I even reframed in a sense?
Yeah.
We get the frame rails on that truck for that's what that is, $54,000 with the frame rails on it. So then what's wrong with the rest of the truck? To me, at some point, it's probably gonna be a good farm truck, it's gonna be good for something that's not an emergency vehicle.
Sure.
So,
We certainly don't want any liability.
no,
And the liability is, what do we do with it? Because You can't give it to a farm truck, he puts farm plates on it, goes down over Prescott Hill and ends up in Lakeport, cause he went through all the buildings in town.
Well, it would have to be some sort of disclosure. I do have one company that actually we dealt with the ambulance, they would give us $5,000 for this.
Of course they would, that's what the motor's worth.
But, right, so, you know, that's where I would do, if we were to get rid of, we can't keep it at our place, or I don't wanna have it sitting down behind the highway.
Oh, so in other words, what, okay, so basically what you're kind of recommending is that maybe what we should do is try to just get rid of it, period.
Maybe some point.
Because why sit around and have something leak or,
But,
because it's unusable.
Right, it's unusable for art.
Yep.
For us.
Right.
And, you know, if we do look into getting rid of this truck at this point, but I don't wanna get rid of it and not be able to give one back, we need one for the town.
Right.
100% need one for this town.
Well,
But again, the
I don't
problem-
understand that philosophy. I don't wanna get rid of it, cause I gotta have one back.
Well,
So
and I know,
it's
and
no use,
sometimes-
it's
I
no
know,
use
I
right
get it,
now.
but sometimes, like,
Now that you know
I-
that
what
truck's,
I'm afraid of
that
is-
truck's unsafe for highway use,
Right, and what I'm afraid of is if I get
Take
rid
the
of that
inspection
truck,
sticker
nobody will
off
know
it.
I don't need it.
and put it
Well,
in.
no, that's not, I think that,
That's kind of my fear.
yeah.
On that, but yes. I-
No, we definitely need a tanker.
Yes.
I
Yes.
definitely will say we need a tanker, whether we have one in that garage that's dead or not, we need a tanker.
And if, you know, and so, and if we do get rid of it, right, I wouldn't just say, oh yeah, get rid of this truck and then not tell anybody about it. This is what you got here. At sight on, you know, scene, this is what you've got, can't guarantee anything with a frame, this is what you gotta do with it. Or, you know, suggest in a sense, this isn't certainly gonna be, yeah, see you later, and have it go out the door, it would be definitely,
well, this is where we go, and I think we received this, we kind of, as a group, talked about this at our selectmen budget meeting, all right? This is part of getting out there and educating our taxpayers, okay? And everybody, that same old thing that we talked about that night. When you need a policeman, you want one now. When you need a fireman, you want one now. When you need a highway guy to plow the road, you need him now. That all costs money, okay? And it's an educating thing.
well, here's the deal, is you've all got vehicles,
Mhm.
and I assume that everyone's got car insurance. And how many times have you had to use that car insurance?
Mhm.
Hopefully never, same with your house,
Mhm.
hopefully never.
Right.
You don't wanna see me show up at your house, because that means something bad's happened.
Yep.
You don't wanna see the captain over here because somebody's doing something bad, chances are, you know what I mean? So,
No, no,
we're insurance policy to the town of Belmont.
Yep. huge. So it's gonna be a salesmanship.
But
Yep.
I mean,
every piece of
sorry,
equipment we have is insurance policy.
question for discussion
Yeah,
amongst
yeah.
us. Being in a default year, what is people's opinions about going to the voters for equipment, like the fire truck, like the police cars?
Well, the fire, if I may, the fire would come out of the ambulance billing revenue.
Yeah, we would still have to
so
ask
there
them,
would be
though.
You do have to
Yeah.
ask them, but it would be no tax increase.
Correct, but, and then it would be for the police though, but we need equipment, whether, and the biggest thing that I'm fearful of the equipment for the police is getting behind, cause it killed us at the sheriff's department.
Of course.
So if we
And
go to
now-
the voters
and
for
in
the
reality-
tanker and 2 police cars, it's a little trial run in the middle of the year. For the
I'm
real
sa-
budget
I'm
cycle.
sorry, say that again?
If we go to them now, ask for a special meeting, ask for the money for the police cars, and ask to use the money for the tanker. How much is an election gonna cost us?
I have to get the figures on all the ballot clerks, all the printing.
I mean, just for thought amongst us, it's
Yeah.
gonna take time,
Yeah,
but
I
I
mean,
think
for
it's a good idea.
She's saying that the tanker, even if we wait until March, it's gonna increase by $85,000, you said? And then, yeah, it's definitely worth looking into.
80.2 is the $1,000.
Well, and the problem is, I'm sure there's not a tanker sitting somewhere that you can just
It
go,
would take, I would probably have it in a year.
that, I was just gonna
So
say
now-
that.
So now. if I
You're
wait
almost
till
talking
April,
2 years.
Now I'm looking at a whole nother.
Well, and
year.
it will be 2 years, because we know nothing ever happens, gets,
Hopefully not gonna
yeah.
hit my end.
No, but I mean, nothing, I know, I
No,
know.
I mean, you're right, but we keep waiting, and obviously it's gonna be even longer, and that truck's not gonna get replaced, so who knows when. And then again, just like the police, I'm gonna be behind, because I have an engine that's a 1997 engine.
Yeah.
That came from Winnisquam, that really was my plan to get rid of this year.
That you've gotta, yeah, right.
Now, I have to change my pattern and go a different route.
And that's,
And here we are, we're gonna have police officers running around in cars that are not safe,
Right.
because
And that
the
shouldn't
voters,
happen.
right, it should not happen.
and just real quick, when the 22% year increase at the county was the year we were 5 cars behind the sheriffs and we were dying to catch up, so I don't wanna see that happen to Belmont. Cause we can't afford that at that point.
So, anyways, that was kind of what I just wanted to plan today.
I was depressed after leaving last week's meeting, right? No,
But
it's
if
okay.
anybody ever wants to
Yeah.
come down to the fire station,
Yeah.
throw us out there, please by all means, come visit us.
Deb, do you wanna invite them to the pinning?
Oh, yeah, that was the other thing I talked about, that's right on my paper.
I was just gonna ask her.
Today at 4 o'clock, probably a little bit after 4, because Jen's coming from, Primex. We're doing the pinning for Chief Piglets and 4 other firefighters that are coming off, that are off probation now. We'll be doing that at the firehouse. And, like I said, I've got Jen Cashman.
Coming up at 4.
So probably about 4:15-ish, unless she gets out early,
Okay,
so, maybe cake.
of course. It's a firehouse, of course there's cake.
Cake.
All right, awesome.
All right, thank you
Okay,
very much.
thank you. Was that under old business? That was under old business, I think, wasn't it?
New business.
No business, all right, new business, well, new, old. Do we have anything under old business?
Nothing under new old business, but under other old business, at my last at our last meeting, you had asked that I reach out to legal in regards to 15 Johnson Street. Joe got back to me. They have sent out the management company to start cleaning up. I did have Karen and Glenn, Karen, the town planner, and Glenn, the code enforcement officer, go out, so she has,
Oh, you have an
for
update?
you.
I have an update and pictures.
Oh, Jesus.
And
Wow.
pictures, although we did not risk these things to get close up.
No.
But just so you kind of have an idea as to where it's kind of at. We did go out there
Sitting
yesterday.
in stalemate for a while.
Can't hear.
Is this the one that's been stalemate for a while?
Yeah, 3
Oh,
years.
yeah. Like for,
It's been so long since I heard the name, I'm thinking, I'm like, where is
We're all
this?
kind of singing from the same hymn, so to speak.
Oh, yeah, I remember that camping now, yeah.
We did go out there yesterday, took kind of a look around. We obviously didn't enter the building, it is boarded up. And relatively secure, all things considered. I did reach out to the DD because while we were there, we think there may be somebody in the garage building. We heard something and then heard something again, and Glenn thought he saw something looking out, so we did happily return to safety to let people know that there is potentially someone there. But we kind of went out, just took a look around, did make kind of a list. I do have a color set of photos if anyone wants to see what in living
Oh, you
color.
gave me the color.
I'll just
Oh, did
try
I
that.
give you a
Yeah.
color? There were 2 colors copies, but you should have a black and white.
I'm sitting there going, wow, this is really good color then.
Well, you can share that one so everybody can kind of see in
Yeah.
living color. But basically, everything there has been tagged. There is a guardian asset management placard on all of the vehicles, on the campers. Basically saying you have 7 days to remove your property. That was posted in May, so that 7 days is long expired, so they can go in there. It did look like somebody
I've seen it.
fairly recently, if you go up the driveway to the right of the garage, looked like somebody kind of pulled out a pile, like it had been raked out, like somebody had maybe brought in a small dumpster and taken out a pile of trash and debris. But it is kind of scattered all over. There are 3 vehicles out kind of in the grass. We didn't get close enough to identify exactly what the vehicles are, but we do have photos and they are 4-door sedans. They said the grass was quite high and bees and snakes, so we really were not ready to go look at that.
so you think the, very little's been removed then?
Very little at this
Yeah.
point. Like I said, somebody had been in there. I'm thinking at the end of May, when these were posted, is probably about the same time that debris was removed. I mean, it's fairly recent because the weeds and stuff haven't come back up, but, you know, you can see where it's been raining. It's not like we've got fresh rain there, so it's like, since the rain happened.
Yeah.
I believe Joe had stated to me that they were in the last couple of weeks, starting the process of the cleanup. And that he instructed us to go out and take a list of what it is that needs to be removed to be in compliance.
Everything.
Yeah, and it looks like they're trying, it looks like they said, they've,
I'm all done with this
started
trying
tagging
business.
everything.
Since 2020, I'm all done trying.
Yeah.
Put them in court, sue 'em. Get it over with.
But they've been in court to establish ownership
Ownership.
and the whole eviction of the
Well,
squatter.
it's bank-owned property right now, so the
It
bank's in
officially
default.
is bank-owned, and they have the right, now that the squatter has been identified as not being an owner and having any right, now they, or
was such
See
a,
how fast
you know,
it
it's
Such a
so
beautiful
sad because it
house.
was such a beautiful house. It was a beautiful.
Beautiful.
I say, looking at it from the front, it looks like it was a nice
Oh,
house.
it was
Man.
gorgeous.
If you wanna share the color so everybody can see them in living color.
Yeah.
I didn't wanna make this.
I think all of us knew somebody that lived in that house at one time or another.
I mean, you know, they have secured the doors, there's a whole roof that is covered, but the condition of the building.
Oh, that's right, because I think the fire department had to go up there one time because there was smoke coming out of the hole or something. They were having a,
Self-made chimney.
yeah, self-made chimneys, that's exactly right.
Like I
Mm.
said, there
Yeah.
has been some debris removed, not a lot, but again, we did
There's
make a
gotta be a way to
list
put a
of
date on this and
stuff that
end.
needs to be removed, and I will forward it to the attorney.
You've been up there, you've been, we've all gone to
But there has to be a way to
I
put a
am drive
date on
by.
this and say by this date, and a preset date, you've gotta have this done. I mean, there has to be a closure to this thing. You just can't, it looks like they're trying. Show me a poor bank. Just show me one, okay? There aren't any. It's their responsibility. We know it. We've gotten judgments. Somebody's gotta be able to enforce this and say, it's time. Never mind, we are working on it, or you took out of 300 yards of trash, you took out 100, you took 100 square inches of it. I mean, it's gotta be cleaned up, the property's gotta be put back into shape or demolished or something. You can't just let this, it goes on and on and on and on.
Can we don't have no authority over anything, but can we as the Board of Selectmen maybe send, I know the attorney said don't have any contact or whatever, but at this point, could we ask for some sort of a, you know,
Closure date.
yeah, or something?
I'll ask Joe about a closure date. I know this has gone on for so long, so I know there was multiple things that the bank was battling, so I'll have to kind of revisit where we ended on our end.
And I only ask that because it's July, but pretty soon it's gonna be unfortunately December, and then they won't do anything because it's winter. You know, it would just be nice if we could at least get, maybe.
And the bulk of it could probably be removed fairly easily.
Right, you're right.
Obviously, you need some, you know, large dumpsters in there.
And they hire somebody to come in and take the vehicles,
Right.
right? And they get $100 for each vehicle, whatever they do, I have no idea.
But, yeah, so that, but like I said, we did go out there, we do have a list, and,
Okay.
you know, the photos obviously to back
Yeah.
it up, so I will forward that to Joe, so that he has that as well, so that, you know, in contact.
I mean, I don't think we're being,
Unreasonable.
unreasonable by any means. We've been dealing with this,
So like I said, I just wanted to bring that up to David, we did go out there, and like I said, there's piles of it, you know, but it's not as bad as some, but it's still a mess,
Yep.
obviously.
it is,
And obviously the structure being in the condition that it's in, essentially
Yep.
it's a large number.
I question whether I question whether it's even savable at this point, but that's not my
I have not
gig.
seen the inside, I mean, somebody could very easily purchase it, bring it to ground, and rebuild something on the same spot.
That's a beautiful spot. Okay, awesome, thank you, Karen.
Karen, I have a question, another issue. Dwayne McLean,
Yes.
you reported last time that he had gotten rid of a dump truck. And I reported to you at our
Yes,
last
it's
meeting,
at your girlfriend's house.
he took it across the street.
Yes.
So, I mean, Ray Charles could see this. I mean, it went from his yard across the street. So he didn't get rid of it, he just moved it.
Vehicles in Laconia, so I did locate one of his other vehicles in Laconia. So he's shifting them around, I have received the excuse again, he's on the road at this point in time, the response is,
He's working at the Rod and Gun this morning. He's the new commander of the Rod and Gun. He's putting a deck on. He ain't hard to locate. He's standing on the street.
He's down in Laconia. But what
He's
I
the
am going to-
commander.
My response to him is, at this point in time, hire a consultant, you're gonna need it anyway. No more excuses, we're done.
And no response from DES, was it DES that got?
Nothing, they kind of ghosted us, we sent a couple of complaints regarding the truck leaking and got ghosted.
And you can't use the excuse of the former code enforcer, cause I was the middleman and he blew off the entire letter I gave him, so.
Well, that's where, you know,
Yeah.
he's had plenty of time since that point. And
Yeah.
I've had a couple of conversations with him, and we have been getting, you know, I'm on the road, but you are gonna need a site plan and everything else, so at this point in time, hire a consultant and have them do the paperwork.
Yeah,
That's,
You know, that's basically the solution.
let's go ahead with it. Get it done.
and obviously the issue on South Road, the trailers are there today, they're.
Yes, yeah, we
Yeah.
did send the letter out, that we have to give them, obviously, they're
Yeah.
getting, I have to look at, I didn't grab their deadline
Yeah.
before I came over here.
Yep,
But they're getting close to their 21 days. We did actually after we went to Johnson Street, I wanted to just get a visual on it, so
Yeah.
I had to go and just drive by. And there were 3 on
Yep.
site, it looks like one got hit with something, because the front of it's got a good,
Yeah.
you know how they're going.
They obviously had them all opened up, probably to clean, now they're all closed up, but they even have a sign now,
Yes.
stuck in the ground, you know, so they, yeah.
I don't know if the letter went to Tilton, so I don't know if it's somebody's renting the house, but either way, we did send a
Yep.
letter, they're getting close to their 21 days, so.
Okay, all right,
And then we follow up,
thank you,
you're welcome. And
sorry.
I'll snag those color pictures back, because I
Oh.
want final copies.
No, I just have black, I put it
There's a
right there.
color.
Black and white. Thank you. Okay,
That's all I got for you.
that's all I got, okay.
Oh, yes, Colleen has a
Oh,
update.
yes.
So at our last regular Board of Selectmen's meeting, there was a property owner here that was concerned because of
Oh,
the
yes.
value of their property, and there were
Yes.
inaccuracies on the tax card,
Yep.
et cetera.
Mhm.
So after we left the meeting, I went and pulled all of our assessing files for the property. So the spring tax bill that the owners received had an assessed value on the tax bill of $310,400, not the $177,000
That she claimed.
that
Yeah.
she was talking about. That the old tax card did have that value, but the new tax bill showed the value that had been picked up. So the assessors picked up the work from the building permit that they had done over the fall
Mhm.
as part of the spring tax bill. So all new work gets picked up in the spring because the state of New Hampshire requires that assessments be based on the status of a property on April 1st.
Correct, yeah.
And the statement that was made by the property owner that our assessors have a backload of work and would not get to her property this year was incorrect. They had already been out and pulled that value. And that's how that process is supposed to work.
Mhm.
And then the tax card from this spring, after the assessors picked up the building permit, correctly shows that it is now a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, and no longer a 2-bedroom, 1-bath. And the building notes show that the assessors estimated all that work to be 100% complete, which is usually what they do if they aren't able to actually physically enter the property. So the town's current tax card records are accurate. They show the correct number of bedrooms and bathrooms. That's how this process, again, is supposed to work for the tax cards. Right now, the assessors are actively in the process of doing the revaluation. So there is a draft tax card that currently has an assessed value of $348,500. And that value is more in line with $358,000 that the property owners thought that the property was worth. And so that will be finalized this fall. And then if there were other errors that they had found, she said something about square footage, that should have been addressed as part of an abatement in the fall. That's what the state allows for once a year, to do an abatement after the fall tax bill and before March 1st. And that is the only place that we're aware of where someone could file an appraisal of a property, because the pickups and the changes to the values typically only happen once a year.
So she was basing her discussion was based off an old assessment, right?
Correct.
All right. And I assume that they're up to date on their tax bills.
I'm not sure.
Okay.
But I also just wanna mention that anybody that's looking for the most up-to-date information for tax cards should contact either assessing or land use at the town hall, because the website typically has like the last finalized tax card. And they have dates on those tax cards on the website. It would show that the tax cards there right now are dated November of '23. Those were the final 2023 tax bills.
So then it will be updated again
In the fall.
November of '24.
Or October.
And if somebody is concerned in between times, they can just call and,
Yes, absolutely.
okay. All right, awesome, okay. Any other?
I have something,
Oh,
just for, a double check, can you look at the minutes that I handed you? these both say selectmen and budget committee meeting minutes. Is that what that one says? Because
No,
that's what
one
this
says just selectmen's meeting, I think, right?
Oh, she just has to change this header,
No.
this one. We'll just change the first page.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure so that both sets got signed properly. So involved with that meeting.
Okay, any public comment? Yes, sir?
Are we on the internet?
Yeah, I did shut that mic off because it was back feeding. You might turn it back on.
Let me turn the microphone on.
Yeah, it was back feeding really bad.
I presume people can hear without static.
Right now we can.
No, but other people.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Joe Haas is my name.
And where do you live, Joe?
I live in Gilmanton.
Oh, okay.
And I was here a few years ago. I don't know if you remember me, but this was when Andrew Wensky and John Tobin were doing their info sessions throughout the whole state. They had 80 plus informations on the school tax. The Claremont case continued on to the Londonderry case, continued on to the current Kentucky Valley School District case. And that's 2019-500 at the New Hampshire Supreme Court, which was remanded back to the lower court, and now it's case number 121 of this year. And what I'm getting at is, I think I told you that, would you please stop accepting the DRA, Department of Revenue Administration, downshifting of the tax rates to the locals, because that's supposed to be state funded. And that makes up over 50% of the property tax bill, everybody's property tax bill, in the whole state. And I don't think you did it. Well, I know you didn't, because I got a copy of the warrant of May 28, 2024, signed by 3 of the 5 of you. So could you, by the end of the day, write to me back telling me why the other 2 did not sign?
Because I don't think we were we weren't a board of 5, we were only a board of 3 then.
That's what I presume. But no, it's
Oh.
5 here. That's
Oh, okay.
Quorum, I guess.
Oh, okay, so there's a quorum.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
presume. But I thought it would be nice, like if there was a dissenting opinion of maybe 2 of the selectmen didn't want to sign it because they knew what they were doing was unlawful.
May I? If they didn't sign, it's because they didn't come into the office that day to sign manifest. And I only need a majority of 3 to sign. That's why they didn't sign. But they can certainly speak for themselves if they didn't feel that we should have collected the taxes.
Yeah, thank you for that detail, and thank you for the emails that you've been sending to me, but they're incomplete. And the same thing, Article 14 of the New Hampshire Constitution requires completeness, not quorumness, but completeness. So this is actually incomplete. And if anybody wanted to contest, let's say they don't pay their property tax for 3 years, then you go to tax deeding, then you go to tax auction, then you sell their property, they can argue that yes, this was unlawful because it was not properly processed. I'm just saying that somebody could use that as an excuse in the future. And to nip it in the bud, it would be nice maybe to have some of you amend it to reflect that. Or what I'd like to see is rescind it and not have the school tax on there. Because as of this last Monday was the deadline for the state, the Attorney General, to put his brief in, the Conville case. And Michael Tierney, the attorney down in Manchester for the Kentucky Valley School District and all the other districts in that area down by Keene, they have until August 29th to put their brief in. But the problem is, the basic problem is you've already been told, everybody's been told by the Londonderry case, page 9 of 19 of the internet version, above the Roman numeral V, it says no more of this shifting down. It doesn't say downshifting. I always say downshifting. But it says none of these local taxes shall be shifted down, and they are. And you all took an oath of office, Article 84, I presume. I haven't seen any signed documents. but you're to obey the law. I mean, this is all legal, because Lindsay Stepp from Holderness, she's the commissioner of the Department of Revenue, she's sending these tax rates down. I sued her, remember that County Superior Court in Concord, and the opposition attorneys said, oh, well, you didn't get the state's permission. I said, come on. And then I sued the town, and then the town attorney says, oh, you're suing the wrong party, you should have sued the state. They said, come on, buddy, I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place. And so I do have a case in Merrimack County Superior Court, July 30th, it goes to a hearing, and hopefully Judge Brian T. Tucker, he's the one who told me, I like him as a judge, usually I hate attorneys, but he wrote about Peter Laughlin, the book on municipal law. He says you can argue illegality in the abatement process. And I said, well, beyond illegality is unlawfulness. Yes, the statute is okay, what you're doing is legal, but what you're doing is unlawful. And here we have a police officer in this room right now, and he's hearing this, and I've sent him emails too, and I would like him to investigate. Him meaning the chief and all those other people too, and also the Attorney General. And I do have a copy, signed copy of what I sent to your town administrator at 8:26 a.m. this morning. And I'll give you a copy. That's my signed copy there. That's just the last 2 pages, and the rest of the email is in the electronic version. But if anybody listening, any taxpayer, wants to do something about this, they can. Because I heard and I read there's 81 applications that were made for abatement. Most of them, well, all of them, the town administrator told me all of them were for overappraised value. Nobody signed up for inability to pay, meaning poverty. But they can amend it to say they read the Conval case and say, well, hey, come on, they're right. That you shouldn't be taxing us for this. I want to amend my complaint. And then they could go to Superior Court. And that's what, the bottom line, that's why I'm here. Is because I, as a beneficiary of the trust of the property in Gilmanton, I went to the Selectmen, they said, no, you're only the beneficiary, you have no standing, it lost. So I sued them, and I lost. So, it lost when I have the place in my own name. I have 2 copies. And I don't know what else to say other than, the last thing too is, on the federal funding, that's what I am disgusted with too, is because Uncle Sam should have known that to pay this money for an unlawful purpose is not right. And then you should return some of that money to the feds, because you over-collected. And I did report it to the FTC, Federal Trade Commission, as a whistleblower, and whatever that money is, supposedly, I don't know where it is written, but I've heard that the whistleblower as a bounty hunter can collect up to 25% of the wrong that was done.
All right.
So that's my financial incentive.
We will take that under consideration, sir, and appreciate.
And if and when I win that, I'm hearing you have a problem with your fire truck, and let's say I have some extra money I donated to the town to get better protection, and it's just too bad that the insurance companies aren't contributing more to keep their properties insured.
Awesome.
I mean, all these CEOs, they make millions of dollars, but it should really go back to the community.
All right. Thank you very much. Any other comments this morning? No one has any?
Graffiti on the fire pit, that will be all corrected today. We'll take care of that today.
Thank you.
In fact, the boys are probably working on it.
I think I like the comment about the cursive.
That wasn't cursive.
That,
Come on.
I know, but I like that comment anyway.
The reason we did it in that corner, so the cameras can't see it.
Can't see it? Yeah. I just like that because I just remember my daughter coming home and saying, Mom, I learned cursive today. And I had to smile because I didn't know what she meant. It was a long time
You
ago.
meant writing?
That was a long time ago. That's right. You're exactly right. Thank you. And no other? Okay. I believe we have quick non-public. We'll take a roll call and non-public 91-A:3, Roman numeral 2 letter